Hey guys, this is God of Politics, and welcome back to a brand new video. But before we get started with this video, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description, and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. But in today's video, I do want to talk about the state of Florida and some of the early vote numbers and vote by mail numbers that we've seen, and answering the question, is Joe Biden doomed in Florida? Now, Florida is a very, very important state. It's got 29 electoral votes. It was won by Donald Trump in 2016, won by Barack Obama both times. The last time it hasn't gone to the candidate that won the election was 1992 when George H.W. Bush won the state of Florida, but Bill Clinton ended up winning the election. But I am going to be looking at the vote by mail data, the in-person early vote data, and the turnout data to see if turnout is at a certain level and independents break at a certain level, what will the election look like? Who will be able to win Florida? Now, all of the data I'm using is coming from a guy with the username on Twitter, UMishVoter99. You should all follow him. He's got a lot of good data, good graphs, all these kinds of things. That is very good. And he has a link to a Google Sheets here. It has all of this data compiled about the state of Florida, the early voting data, the in-person, the vote by mail data, all of those things. So this is where I'm getting the data from. He is getting the data from, I believe, like the Florida Secretary of State, the Florida State website, something like that. But I'm using the data from him, and that's where I'm getting the data. So, looking at the vote by mail numbers, so far, Democrats have 1,760,590 votes. Now, this number's changing all the time, but this is as of the time I'm recording this video. Republicans have 1,162,111 vote by mail votes, and the independent numbers are 820,379. So, in terms of the vote by mail numbers, Democrats have a 16-point lead. If you look at the in-person early vote numbers, we can see here that Democrats have 722,381 votes, Republicans have 961,919 votes, and the independents have 393,699 votes with a total of 2,077,995. So in terms of the in-person early vote, Republicans are actually winning this by 11.5 percentage points. So that is quite an interesting thing to note. But then we look at the total numbers here for in-person early vote plus the vote by mail vote. Democrats have 2,482,971 votes. The Republicans have 2,124,026 votes, and the independents have 1,214,078 votes, with a grand total so far as of October 25th of 5,821,075 votes. We look at the 2016 election here, you can see a total of over 9 million votes, maybe 9.4 million votes. We are already over halfway to that number so far, and we are only at October 25th. And in terms of the total vote number so far, Democrats lead by 6.2 percentage points. And what is the turnout so far? Well, the turnout so far is 45.7% for Democrats, 39.8% for Republicans, and 29.4% for the independent voters. In 2016, the Democratic turnout was 74%, the Republican turnout was 81%, and the independent turnout was 62%. So if we do project the number of votes for each party right now, so how many does Joe Biden have, how many does Donald Trump have, how many do the other third-party candidates have? Now, for the third party, I'm just using 2% for both Democrats and Republicans and 4% for the independent number. These are rough numbers, not necessarily going to be exact. If we look at around, the 2016 number, it was around 4%, something like that. But in this, it's 2%. But as you can see here, I am basing it off the assumption that Joe Biden will receive 8% of the Republican vote, and Donald Trump will receive 8% of the Democratic vote, and they will receive 90% of the votes from their own parties. So far, you can see here, just of the voters that are Democrat or Republican, Joe Biden has 2,404,545 votes. Donald Trump has 2,110,261 votes. So this is, again, a 6.4% lead for Joe Biden. But that's not, very indicative, because you can see here the independent numbers, which, total up to 1,214,078 votes. Those are not included in this number here. So I'm going to go through a number of models based on, what the independents will break to. Will they break for the Republicans? Will they break for the Democrats? And what will the turnout be? So if we assume that the turnout will be the same as 2016, so, we have 74% for the Democrats, 81% for the Republicans, and 62% for the independents. If we have those turnout numbers and the independents break the same way as they did in 2016, which was Trump wins them by 4, then we get a vote total where Joe Biden gets 5,071,312 votes. Donald Trump gets 5,571,106 votes. And then the other candidates get 266,192 votes. In this scenario, it's very interesting. You see that Donald Trump in this scenario would actually win the state by 4.6 percentage points, which would be very, very significant. But I don't necessarily see this happening because if you look at the voter registrations for independents, based on the data that we have, the new independent voters that are registering are more predominantly non-white voters, so Latino voters, which make up around 18% of the Florida electorate, and black voters, which make up 15% of the Florida electorate. So together they make up 33%, which is a significant chunk, a third of the state. And, those independent voters of those new registrations are predominantly more Democrats. So it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing 2016 independent numbers. But then if we look at the 2016 turnout with the 2018 independent numbers, if we look at the 2016 numbers, first of all, we can see here that Donald Trump won independents by 4, 47 to 43 in this scenario. I'm putting it at 50 to 46 because there's less of a third-party influence. If you look at the 2018 governor elections here, we can see that actually Gillum won independents by 10 percentage points, 54 to 44. Independents made up 29% of the electorate. Gillum won them by 10. So if we base it off the 2018 independent numbers where Joe Biden would win them by 10 percentage points here, you would see that Joe Biden would still lose by 1.3 percentage points. He would lose 5,250,533, and Donald Trump would get 5,395,681. So he would still lose by 140,000 votes, and then you see that the independent or the other voters would get 266,192. So even in this scenario where you have the same turnout levels as 2016 for each party, and you have the independents that would be won by Joe Biden by 10 percentage points, you can see here that Donald Trump would still win the state by 1.3 percentage points, which is almost identical to what he won the state by in 2016, which is 1.2 percentage points. So looking at this from a different perspective, where we have a turnout scenario that is higher for Democrats, where you get, rather than 74 for Democrats, 81 for Republicans, 62 for independents, you get 80% for Democrats, 83% for Republicans, 66 for independents. So Democratic turnout goes up 6%, Republican turnout goes up 2%, independent turnout goes up 4%. So what would it look like in this scenario? Well, with that high turnout model, with the independents breaking like they did in 2016, where Trump wins them by 4, you would see a scenario where Joe Biden wins 5,462,990 votes. Donald Trump wins 5,763,534 votes, and the independents, or not the independents, but the other candidates would get 281,218 votes. In this scenario, you can see here that Donald Trump still wins by 2.6 percentage points, actually a greater margin. And this shows you the importance of the independent voters, because even if you have turnout that gets a net 4% gain over the Republicans compared to 2016, you still see that they struggle to get a victory in the state because of the fact that independents are breaking at the levels they did in 2016. But here's the silver lining for Democrats. If you have high Democratic turnout, like I discussed before, 80% for Democrats, 83% for Republicans, 66% for independents, but the independents break as they did in 2018, which is plus 10% for the Democrats. In that scenario, you'd have 5,653,774 votes for Joe Biden. Donald Trump would get 5,572,753 votes, and the other candidates would get 281,218 votes. Well, in this scenario, if we scroll down here, we would see that Joe Biden would win the state by 0.7 percentage points. This would be very, very close, but he would eke out a victory of 0.7 percentage points by, around 80,000 votes, give or take. So this is what you have to do if you're Democrats. You have to hope that Democratic turnout is very high, that you can up Democratic turnout from 74% to 80%. I believe 80% should be the goal for Democrats. And if you're the Republicans, you want to hope that Democratic turnout isn't up this much, and you want to bring up turnout up for your voters. And really, that is not actually as important as it is. Well, it is to an extent, but the most important factor is with the independent voters. How will the independent voters break? If they break for Donald Trump will most likely win the state with high turnout. If there is high turnout and the independents break like they did in 2018, where Joe Biden wins them by a significant amount, then Joe Biden will probably win the state. So the overall consensus of this is that Donald Trump is probably going to win Florida because the turnout for Democrats isn't looking too good. If we want to look at his spreadsheet, and we see here, Democrats aren't doing too well in areas like Miami-Dade County, for example, where they're only winning 13 percentage points. That's the biggest county. Hillary Clinton won that by 30 percentage points, and you're expecting Republicans to do well in that in-person election day voting. And while they will do better in areas like Hillsborough County, where they're currently winning by 13 percentage points, it may not be enough. Even if you want to look at a county like Duval County, where Democrats are winning by 12 percentage points, which is a county that Trump won in 2016, those kinds of margins could be overtaken by the election day turnout by Republicans, which is expected to be overwhelmingly Republican. So overall, if you're in Florida, you'd rather be Trump than Biden. If you're looking at the election overall, you'd rather be Biden than Trump because Florida is a must-win for Trump. It's not a must-win for Biden. But Trump is in a strong position in Florida. I do expect Trump to win Florida. I do expect turnout to be up, but I do expect Joe Biden to win the independents, but I don't expect it to be enough for Joe Biden to be able to win the state as a whole. So thank you all for watching this video. Please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Also, join the Discord that is linked down in the description and check out the website, which is also linked down in the description. So again, guys, thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you guys later.